In ancient Egypt, marriage was considered one of the essential pillars of society. While many modern civilizations view marriage as a highly ceremonial and often religious event, marriages in ancient Egypt were more focused on the practicalities of life and family. The concept of marriage in ancient Egyptian culture was rooted in the need to establish and strengthen family ties, ensure the continuation of the family lineage, and create a harmonious household. Love, while certainly present in some cases, wasn't the driving force behind these unions. Instead, marriage was seen as a partnership, one that served both the man, the woman, and their extended families. What stands out about ancient Egyptian marriages is the degree of equality, especially concerning women. While many ancient societies limited women's roles, ancient Egyptian women had considerable rights and autonomy, especially within marriage. Women could own and inherit property, engage in business transactions, and even initiate divorce if they desired. This was in stark contrast to many other ancient civilizations where women had very limited rights. Once married, women in Egypt maintained their financial independence. They were allowed to retain ownership of their dowries and any property they brought into the marriage. In fact, the concept of the dowry was an important aspect of Egyptian marriage, with the woman's family providing her with wealth to take into her new household, ensuring her security in the event of separation or death of her spouse. The process of marriage itself was surprisingly informal by modern standards. There were no grand ceremonies or religious rites to solemnize the union. In fact, there was no religious authority overseeing marriages at all. A marriage in ancient Egypt was essentially a personal contract between two families. Couples would simply move in together, a public acknowledgement that they were now husband and wife. It was a practical arrangement that emphasized the shared responsibilities of both spouses, from running the household to raising children. Despite the lack of formal ceremonies, marriage was held in high regard in Egyptian society. It was considered a social norm, and people were expected to marry in their late teens or early 20s. Both men and women were involved in selecting partners, although family involvement was often significant. Marriages were usually arranged to create alliances between families or to strengthen social standing. Even the gods were believed to have sanctioned marriage as part of maintaining order in the world. For example, the story of the gods Osiris and Isis, a divine couple whose love and partnership were legendary, often served as an ideal model for married life in Egypt. Another fascinating aspect of ancient Egyptian marriage was the concept of divorce. Divorce, while not common, was entirely possible and relatively simple to execute. Either partner could initiate the divorce, though it was usually more common for the wife to do so. If the marriage ended, the woman would retain her dowry and any personal possessions she brought into the union, and she might even receive additional compensation if the husband was at fault. This degree of fairness in divorce settlements is another example of the surprisingly progressive nature of ancient Egyptian family law. Marriage in ancient Egypt was ultimately about creating balance and harmony, not just between the couple but within the entire family structure. The role of each partner was seen as complementary, both were responsible for different but equally important aspects of maintaining the household and raising children. Ancient Egyptian art and literature often depicted married couples in affectionate and equal partnerships, highlighting the importance of unity and mutual respect in their daily lives. In conclusion, while ancient Egyptian marriages may not have had the pomp and ceremony that many modern weddings do, they were deeply significant in their own way. The institution of marriage was an essential part of social stability and personal fulfillment. The respect and autonomy granted to women, the practical nature of the unions, and the informal yet highly respected marital contracts all reflect a society that valued balance, partnership, and family above all. Marriage was not just about love, it was about building a life together, fostering social connections, and ensuring the well-being of future generations.